Welcome back to another edition of Moncrief Leathers videos. Today we're continuing with the construction of our bag by working on the Sporran flap. As you can see, I've dyed it and I've also treated it with mink oil, which acts as a leather preservative and as a waterproofing agent. So the next thing we have to do is smooth out the edges. I don't know if you can see, but the edges are really kind of rough and not exactly comfortable as far as something you want to use all the time. So we need to smooth out those edges. So to do this, the first step again is applying the mink oil, which helps to soften up these edges, but then we need to move to the burnisher and we're going to work on burnishing these edges. I use a wood burnisher attached to a drill, and then I also use a specially shaped head on my Dremel to add a finer finish to the edge. So we'll take a look at both those processes as we continue. So now I'm ready to go ahead and start burnishing the edges of the Sporran. I'll start first just with going with the amount of moisture that the Sporran flap received when I applied the mink oil to it. Then we'll move to another edge finishing dressing, and then finally we'll address the final buffing with the beeswax. So here we go. Be prepared, it's going to be loud. So that's the first pass, and it feels a lot better now. It's a lot smoother, but I'd like to be a little bit smoother yet. So my next step is to apply another edging compound. It's an acrylic based edging compound that will moisturize the leather and make it a little more amenable to being smoothed, or burnished I should say. Just paint that on there, and here we go again. Okay. Now I'm pretty pleased with the way that this feels right now, but then I've got one more step. I'm going to take my Dremel tool, which is a smaller, finer head, and I'm going to use that in conjunction with beeswax to give it a final smooth polish coat to make this a really comfortable piece of leather to work with. And double check it. It's really feeling good now. So then I'm going to take one more application of this edge dressing. And then we should be finished with the burnishing of the edge of our stiffer lipid tan piece. Okay, now this is nice and smooth. There's no rough edges, there's no kind of sharpish edges. So now we're ready to attach this, sew and glue this to the body of the Sporran bag. So now we're on to the next part where we're going to construct the body of the bag. I've already gotten one edge, top edge of the Sporran glued. I always like to finish my edges. I don't like raw edges on my products. I think it gives it a really unfinished look not to finish the raw edges. So that's what I'm doing now. So I've already marked out my line, which helps me know how much I'm going to have to fold over. And so now I'm going to glue that top edge. I already sprayed this once, but I always like to spray it with a little bit of water. Cat hair. Something I was trying to make clear. Monk Reef Leathers is located in a pet-friendly environment. Okay. Spread it out. A little bit more water just to make it a little bit easier to work with so that it's not like totally dried out by the time I'm ready to adhere the two surfaces together. Again, I marked a line, excuse me, on the leather so I knew exactly how far I had to glue the edge. Excuse me. Got that glued, I got pressed down. With the hammer, or the mallet in this case, kind of press that down, and that is ready to go to the next step. So the next step is placing the holes which the thong runs through that works to gather the top of the Sporran in. So first I've got to measure out the holes. These are measurements I've already got in my head. I've done this a number of times, so I pretty much know where these holes need to be. Alright, so I've got the thong holes punched on the front or back. These are interchangeable, so it doesn't really matter which they are. So now that I've got a template, as it were, I can just line these up. And there we go, we've got the front and the back. And so now that I've got those, the next step is to glue the flap onto the back and then sew it, and then glue the front reinforcement piece on the front and glue that.